it. All right, so we went back to the top here and added some global variables. Connection string, which we'll fill in later, and then a bunch of stuff that we're setting for now to null, and that is the actual database connection. This will hold our SQL command. This will hold our data reader. And next, we just want string. Since it's going to hold the command output, I just called it output. There's nothing special about the name. And I set that equal to the empty string. And that's it for as far as what we're going to have for our global variables. All right. But what I'm going to do next is I am going to go through just the customers here, and I'm going to put in the comments that we're going to put in. All right. So you can take those comments then basically and copy them. We'll put them in for customers. You can copy them to orders, order details, categories, and products. Does all that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So again, this is the code that executes when the customers button is clicked. And I'm just very quickly, maybe I'm going a little nuts here with documentation, but I'm going to put it for each one. So this is the one when the orders button is clicked. This is the one when the orders details button is clicked. I think it's order details, yeah. This is the one when the categories button is clicked. And finally, this is the one with when the products button is clicked. And I guess we could even put it here because that's the one when the exit button is clicked. All right. So again, I'm just going to give you the code right now, or the comments, I should say, for the customers. And we can copy those then into the other routines, the one for orders, the one for order details, the one for categories, and the one for products. And then we'll just pick it up tomorrow. Keegan, I'm going to ask that you do me a favor, and that is if for some reason you've got problems, if it doesn't work, so when you get all done with this and it's 7 o'clock at night or whenever, just send me an email and say, hey, it worked, or hey, it didn't work. And if it didn't work, if you could take me a screenshot of any error dialogues that come up, I'll see if I can fix it. Okay.
All right. I'll try to get it to work before I have to go to work, though.
Okay. No, that's fine. Like I said, even if it's not till tomorrow morning, or when you get home tonight, or whenever. If I don't see it till tomorrow morning, that's not a problem.
Okay.
I just would like to have as much time as I can if you've got a problem to try to debug it, because this is what we're doing now. We're doing databases. If I have to, I can change stuff around a little bit, and I can lecture on chapter 23 tomorrow, but you know what? It's a database chapter. So, like I said, if you can just let me know when you know. So, all right. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to have a try-catch block, just so you know. Everything that we do basically will be inside of a try-catch block. All right. So we're going to have in here basically try, and we're going to have a lot of code in here. And then when we get done, we're going to say catch, and I think we'll probably use an SQL exception. And if we do get an exception right there, all we're going to do is print it out. So message box dot show ex dot message. So if we try to run this and we get any kind of error in a message box, that will print it out, just so you know that. All right, for the try right now, I'm not going to put the code in because, again, the code is database dependent. But what I will do is I'll put the comments in here. So what I'm telling you is when you get done, you'll be able to copy this, the whole thing we've got in here, and put it in here, and in here, and in here, and in here. So that'll actually save us some time tomorrow. All right. So let's get going. First, we want to set the connection string. In fact, let's put it in, but we'll comment it out. So we'll say con equals new SQL connection string. Again, make sure this stuff is all commented out because you were referring to stuff yet that we don't have. So next we will open the database connection, con.open, and we're going to go over all this stuff. So if it doesn't make sense, don't let it bother you, okay? All right. Here we're going to put in our SQL command, and I'm going to say here, note equivalent to select star from customers. So we're going to put in the equivalent of that. All right. But we're going to say SQL equals select customer ID company. Well, no, hold on a second. I've got to give you the names, and these are the old names. So I've got it, but it's on a piece of paper that I got to find. Here we go. All right, customer ID, customer first name. This is going to be very long. Customer last name, customer street address. And I'll tell you what I'll do, I'm going to make this a little more narrow. Put in that, and then I'll give you the rest in just a minute. Like I said, the good news is we're going to have all the code in. So if we can make the database connection tomorrow, it won't take that long. It'll just be going over what's happening in each one of these steps. All right, so please put that in and let me know when you get up to here because we got about 5 other fields we've got to put in here.
Okay.
All right. Keegan, let me know when you're done.
I'm good.
All right. So I'm just going to continue on here. So after the street address, we want, whoops, not that. Come on. Customer, let me look on here. So hold on. City, state, zip, area code, and phone number. City, customer, state, customer, zip, customer, area code, and customer phone number. All right. After you've got all that, double quote, comma.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good also.
Good. All right. So an SQL command object lets you query and send commands to a database. It has methods that are specialized for different commands. All right, so what we'll want to say here is command, whoops, comment it out, command equals new SQL command, and it'll be that command that we just did up above. So the SQL that you see right here is this one. All right, and we want to do that using our database connection. We literally have about, I don't know, 10 or 15 lines to go. And then I'm going to give you a little mini assignment. You'll get it right away. All right. The execute reader method returns a SQL data reader object for viewing the results of our select query. So that'll be the command right there. All right. Next, we will loop through the database and add the fields from each record to our global output variable. Okay. Now I should have said this at the beginning. So if you would, go back up to the top here. Before you do this try catch, so right at the top, we're going to put a command here. You can do this now. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to say clear output variable. And then just say output equals double quote, double quote. You'll want to put this at the top of each one. If you don't do it, it's not going to clear the message box each time. That's why we're doing this. It'll clear the message box. So each time we click a different button, we'll be starting with a new message box with nothing in it. I apologize for not telling you to put that in. So clear output variable, output equal double quote, double quote. That does not have to be commented out. You don't get an error message for this. All right. So we're down to this loop here. While data reader dot read, and all that means is while there's stuff that we can read, okay, so while we can read stuff, we want to keep reading. Now, when you look up on the screen here, just for a second, I'm going to jump back to where we were. So don't worry, I'll go back again. But I want you to realize we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of information. All right. So in our message box, that's going to be a lot to put together. All right. And what I mean is we can put in the customer's name, etc. But then we'll probably want to put the next thing on, the address on its own line, the city, state, zip on a line, etc. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So until we get this done, we may have to change this line a little bit, but just so you know. So it's going to probably look a little screwy right now. And don't worry, this will all come together. I'm not worried about it. So we'll say output plus equals data reader dot get value 0. That's going to be the first name plus a blank space plus data reader dot get value 1. So we now have the whole name in there. Plus, let's have a new line now. Plus, so that's the first name and the last name. All right. The next thing that was in there, I think, was the street address, but I want to double check. We're not going to even put in the ID. We don't care. We can put in the ID, but it's automatically in there for us anyway. We don't want to jack with that. So first name, last name, street address. That's this. That we'll put on its own line. And then on the next line, we'll want city, state, and zip together. So how are we going to do that? We'll put in the city. That's here. Plus a comma and a space. Plus, and then this will be the state. Plus, we'll just have a space there after this, after the state. Plus, and then this will be the zip. And then on another line, on another new line. So when you look at this, we now have 6 of our 9 pieces of information in there. First name, last name, then on a new line, address, then on a new line, city, state, zip, then on a new line. Does it make sense what we're doing here?
Yes.
All right, so what's left? We've only got left the phone, the area code and the phone number. That's it. So data reader dot get value 6. That'll be our area code. Plus, we'll put a dash in there. All right, after the area code. Plus data reader dot get data reader dot get value 7. So you don't have to write this, but as an example, what that should do, what this should do is print out the equivalent of this. Don't write this, but it'll print out like Jeff Scott 751 Par Road, Wentzville, Missouri 63385 314 dash, and I don't know if there's a dash in the other one or not. I don't remember. Let's assume there is. All right. So again, this, Jeff, that's get value 0. Scott is get value 1, etc. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. All right. Then when we're done with that, we want to output our record info. In our message box. Now we can do this right now. We don't have to comment this out, but there's not going to be anything in it because we already took what was in output and up at the top we set it equal to nothing. So we can say here though, message box dot show output I don't know. I don't want that. Customer records, something like that. All right, so the output, that'll be all of those records. The title will be customer records. If you want, you can put that on another line. It really and truly doesn't matter one way or the other. Then here we'll have message box buttons dot OK and message box icon dot information. All right. Then finally, because we're almost done here, we want to close the database connection. And that's just con.close. That's everything. But we virtually have to do this 4 other times. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right. Have you caught up? Do you have everything keyed in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to do for tomorrow then is to grab every bit of this and copy it to the clipboard. So everything between the curly braces, copy it to the clipboard, then go down to the next one. Oops, sorry, I got to go further. All the way down, including the catch, but all the way down, everything except the beginning and ending curly brace. Everything that's in there. Copy it to the clipboard, go down then to the orders and paste it in. All right. Now, what do you have to change? Well, let's quickly take a look at what you have to change. All right. For example, orders only has 4 fields. Order number, order date, ship date, and customer ID. We only care about 3 of those fields. So when you look in here, what are we going to have to change? That's the same. That's the same. This is all the same, but this query changes because it's just the 3 fields. All right. So this will say select. I want to make sure I give you the right names. So it's order date, ship date, and customer ID. So it's order date, ship date, customer ID. All right. Then down here, so that's the same as select star from orders. Okay. And then down here, what we're going to do is the same stuff, but we only have 1, 2, and 3. We don't have all these other things in here. All right, so this 0 will be the order date. The next thing will be the ship date, and the next thing will be the customer ID. Well, that's going to be kind of hard to figure out. So you might want to put here something like order date plus, and then we'll put a new line here, and then this will say ship date plus, And the last thing here will say like customer ID. All right, something like that. Plus. Does that make sense? We're putting some headings in there. We don't have to put headings in the other one because when you put, name, date, etc., that should just make sense. All right. So when we look at it, now we want to change this to order records, and then everything else is the same. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Keegan?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys go in then and copy the same thing into order details. And I gave you a picture. I sent it to you. I'm going to stop my share and give you a new share here. I sent this to you today. So we've already done this one, and I just had you do this one. So you're going to have to do these 3 fields. We don't care about the ID. These 3 fields here, this 1 field here, and these 5 fields here. That's what I want. Excuse me. That's what I want you to do for tomorrow. It'll all be commented out. But literally, if we get the database to work tomorrow, we'll set up the database. We'll go over how to set up all the fields and stuff. We'll talk about foreign keys. That'll take quite a bit of time. Then we'll pop in the data. After we pop in the data, I'll show you what to uncomment, and then we'll attempt to see if we can get this first part to run. All right. So do you understand what I'm asking you to do for tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. So Keegan, like I said, I understand you got to go to work, but when you come back, whenever, if everything looks okay, please just email me saying it's all been downloaded. And if you've got a problem and you've got an error message up, take a screenshot and say, I'm having this problem. Does that all make sense to you, Keegan?
Yeah.
All right. Then I will talk to the 2 of you tomorrow. And it may not seem like it, but we actually got pretty much stuff done. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.